Hey everyone, today I'm going to be telling you how I got an MBA at a top 25 program for free. So first step, just to give you some background, I was considering getting my MBA right after undergrad, honestly, and I found out that there was 2 years of work experience required at most programs that were considered top tier. And because of that, I did decide to go into the workforce for a couple of years. So my process did start pretty early on compared to, some of you who may have gone straight to work and not really considered it at the beginning. But that being said, having a little bit of work experience is greatly beneficial when you do apply. So I'm glad that I did have that opportunity to work for a while. So the first thing I did when I was starting out in my MBA journey, trying to decide which program I would apply for and eventually select, I actually made a spreadsheet of all the different programs that were available that I thought I might be interested in. I made a list with the location, the rank, the cost, just to make sure that I was getting my value out of the investment that I was making in terms of the time and money that I was putting in. So I strongly recommend that you go ahead and do the same. Make sure that you have an idea of what the options are out there so you can make sure you choose the school that fits you best. The next thing that I did when going about trying to decide which program was a good fit for me was attend a seminar online. So what this was really just a presentation about the benefits of the MBA program, what opportunities were included, what the specialties of each of the staff members were on the admissions team, what kind of considerations they were thinking about making in terms of reviewing candidates. So this was extremely helpful, and at the end of this seminar I was actually able to get some of the contact information for some of the people that would be making the admissions decisions at some of these programs. So that was extremely beneficial and helpful for me, and it actually segues into my next point. So the next thing that I did, and the availability of this option may vary depending on what school you apply for, but I actually went ahead and contacted some people on the admissions team, specifically those that had made themselves available for the seminar I attended, and this was extremely helpful. I talked to several admissions folks who were able to guide me in terms of how I should tailor my application and what kinds of things they were looking for, and then also which pitfalls to avoid in terms of common mistakes that they had seen other applicants make in the past. And I was sure to ask open-ended questions around these topics so that I could get as much valuable information as I could. The next thing that I did was learn about the application timeline for each of the universities that I was interested in attending. Different universities will have different deadlines. They will usually have several different rounds of application consideration periods. So there'll be a first round, second round, possibly a third as well. So make sure you know what your deadlines are in terms of getting your application in on time and giving yourself the best chance to be accepted that you can. The next thing that I did when preparing to apply for MBA programs is take the GMAT, of course. But before you take the GMAT, you have to start studying for the GMAT. So what I did was I actually purchased a book through Kaplan. I'm sure there are several good options out there, but the reason why I decided to go with the Kaplan book is because it included 5 free practice tests, and I was able to get the book for about $25. I'll try and post a link for the book that I ordered somewhere in this video. I know they come out with updated versions every year, but for $25 I had the opportunity to get a ton of practice problems and also to get the opportunity to take 5 practice runs at the GMAT before you even step foot in the real testing room. Was a priceless experience for me. For me personally, I'm the type of person that needs to be away from the house in order to study. Make sure that the area that I'm studying in is free of distractions. So I actually did a lot of my studying at Starbucks, but whatever study place you choose, just make sure that it's quiet, that it's a place where you'll be motivated in the long term, because it is a grind going through some of that studying, but it's definitely worth it in the end. The next thing that I did was take the GMAT, and this was an interesting experience. It was a little bit stressful. The testing environment was totally fine, but when you are in there taking the test, you are in there for several hours, so make sure that you're hydrated. Sometimes layers can be helpful, because if it's too cold in there, you have enough clothes on where you're warm. If it's a little hot, you can always take off a jacket or something like that. So I highly recommend that. Snacks as well are good. You don't want to be distracted by any outside factors when you're really trying hard to focus on that test. The next thing that I did once I got my final GMAT score and I was ready to start evaluating which programs I would apply for is take another look at my list, do a quick cost benefit to weigh whether or not that school was a realistic option for me before I went ahead, paid the application fee, and applied. But when I was in the process of doing that, something caught my eye. So the University of Florida MBA program actually was awarding full scholarships to all full-time accepted students for this past academic year. And when I saw that, I was living and working in Florida at the time, so that was definitely something that caught my eye. So I decided to dig a little bit deeper in terms of the potential opportunities with the university and where this could take me. Because obviously cost is not the only factor when you're determining which school will be the best value for you, but it definitely was a plus in terms of my considerations. So I decided to put in my application with a few schools, and University of Florida was definitely on my list. I went up to a few different weekends where they actually had open houses where I could meet students that were currently doing the MBA program, and I could meet the staff, the career services people who will be absolutely vital in terms of helping you to prepare for interviews and eventually get jobs. And really what sold me was the professionalism of everybody involved with the programs. So as you can see from my t-shirt, I did eventually choose the University of Florida as my school of choice. I have absolutely enjoyed the full tuition scholarship, as well as the phenomenal opportunities that have been presented to me on campus, in the classroom, at the career services office, in interviews. So I've absolutely enjoyed my time here. And one of the most exciting parts about this whole ordeal is about a few weeks ago, the US News came out with the updated rankings for MBA programs and the statistics around those. And University of Florida actually moved up from the number 32 spot ranked in the nation to number 25. So I can now say proudly that I'm part of a top 25 MBA program and that I was actually able to complete my education having gotten a full merit scholarship. So in a nutshell, that is how I got a top 25 MBA ranked education for free. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will do another video about my experience at University of Florida in detail, what kind of value I took from each step of the process and how that could potentially help you going forward.